There's plenty of women who just want a regular guy who's just going to do the right thing. The problem is that regular guys are hampered by ego. Because when they are failing under the patriarchy, they need something to make them feel like a man. And oftentimes the thing that makes them feel like a man is treating a woman like garbage.
All I'm saying is that men are always these protectors. Where are those men that are the perpetrators? Who? Because you all tout men to be protectors, but you have to acknowledge the other side of it. I'm saying all men are not the same. That's what I am actually saying.
They speak of a time where in their mythology, women ran the society, right? And the men said they rose up and removed the matriarchy because it was so oppressive to them that they removed them from power and vowed never to return to that point, that form of government again. You can find a lot of this throughout history where matriarchy was installed and it was very oppressive.
You said a few things. Number one, you said, don't discredit the chat because the chat will tell unfiltered opinions because they're behind a filter. So that would prove our point that the majority of men are dangerous. This chat, crazy. I was at least saying maybe they're just being inflammatory because they can hide it. But if you're saying we should take it as gospel, that doesn't help the case of men being safe at all, right? So let's just kind of pause that there. It does not help it. And then the next part where you said, if a woman is more likely to be truthful or people are more likely to be truthful in a chat, and then you conversely said, when you interviewed women, they said these things. So that would mean that now my face is on a frame. You can track me. Yeah, I am going to put on a show. So why don't you listen to the comment sections of the women that's on Prison Talk saying, yeah, I'll be with a prisoner. I'll be with whoever. Like, there's women all over proclaiming that they want to be picked by whoever. A mailman, a busboy, the guy in prison who I got to put money on his books. Like, anybody, please pick me, anybody. Like, there are women like begging y'all to pick them, and y'all do not pay attention to these women. I keep telling you, find them, make a group chat, like come together, like find each other, because I swear they are out there. They are here for you.
We're comparing. We're making we're drawing a parallel between
saying
average men and prisoners.
I don't think she was finished, y'all.
Go ahead.
Finished. She was just saying the women who happy with you. I agree.
What I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help.
You want us to pick for the I'll take a prisoner.
One second, Sweeney. I'm
let
trying
her
to
finish. But yeah,
in your venture, I'm a problem solver. You know, y'all be like, "What's the solution?" I'm here with the solutions. Okay, I can help. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So when you kind of speak about this is the certain kind of guy that's bartering all these women. Women don't want the regular guy. Yes, they do. There's plenty of women who just want a regular guy who's just going to do the right thing. The problem is that regular guys are hampered by ego. Because when they are failing under the patriarchy, they need something to make them feel like a man. And oftentimes the thing that makes them feel like a man is treating a woman like garbage. So DV rates increase in a lower income household where the man is the breadwinner. You think about police officers, the protectors and servers, self-identified DVers at 40%. Self-identified. That means the ones who don't admit it, it could be higher. These are the people who protect and serve, military service members. These are regular blue-collared men. There is something about when you are a man who is not necessarily succeeding under the patriarchy that you feel the need to subjugate a woman. So what I am trying to say is let's make it very clear. Women are not asking for these high-end guys to hurt them because the poor ones are hurting them too. The poor ones, the jobless ones, the felons, the whoever, they're doing the same things. What women are saying is, hey, you know what? When they say things like, I'd rather cry in a Bentley than a Honda, that's what they mean. It means if both of them are going to hurt me, I'd rather be with the one who has the money rather than be with poor and hurt. It is not saying I'd choose a rich a-hole over a very kind, sweet man who's an average earner. Because most often women do choose the kind, sweet man who's an average earner, but the average earner is looking at the dude on TV saying, why can't I have the 7 women he has? So I'm gonna go ahead and treat women like trash the same way. That's what I keep saying. Like, you guys are conflating the realities, and your chat, you said I should take it as gospel, speaks to exactly what I'm talking about. That's the mindset.
I think that a lot of times people are censoring themselves and their experiences, but they're not really looking at this as a human issue. You know, every men and women have different things that they were given, whether by nature, by God, for our survival. Men have force, the power of to enforce things physically. That's our, you know, superpower, so to speak. And women's superpower is manipulation. And I think that a lot of times we don't listen to the other side and understand where each other's coming from. So when we look at when you look at DV rates, right? If men are the problem, right? Because you can make a case for, yes, there's a certain level of abuse or certain things that men are susceptible to doing, but there's you got to also look at this stat. Uh, the stats show that women in relationships with other women have higher domestic violence rates than any other parent. And that's not to say that women are the problem per se, but we have to also look at what we do individually to cause conflict and to cause issues in a situation. Me, I'm married. So speaking as a married man, I can tell you that it takes two people understanding each other, working together, and trying to make things work for things to work. But if someone is approaching it as they're the victim in the situation and the other person is the problem, and they're not really looking and taking inventory to themselves of what they're contributing to whatever the problem may be, then all you're going to have is a bunch of, you know, finger pointing and no solutions. So based on what was said, if men are these monsters that, and this is just again what I'm hearing as soon as I came in, then we also have to look at what, you know, marriage has done to men as well. There's men who get victimized in marriages. There's men who go through domestic violence at very high rates as well in the Black community. One of the things that often gets overlooked is the things that lead to domestic violence. You know, the way things are reported is not also necessarily the case. So I'm just saying, based on what I'm hearing, you can't really put men out there as these monsters because it's men that are fighting for women. The rights that women have today, they have those rights because men fought to give them those rights, or men are the ones who voted or put laws in place to protect women. And when I hear about when I hear about this patriarchy, uh, matriarchy and misandry is a real thing as well. We can't really look at men and say men are the fault, men are the problem. Women want regular guys. Everybody is looking for there's someone, right? So a lot of times people are going for their types instead of what's compatible with themselves. You know, so with that, I don't, you know, I know I'm just coming in and other people want to say things, but that's just my opening statement based on what I heard. You know, you can't really try to, you know, demonize men when it is men who've built this society that has allowed women to flourish, that has allowed women to get jobs, that has allowed women to, you know, have some level of safety in the society. So, you know, I say that and I digress.
The whole men built society and men make it safe for women. You can't be the abuser, you can't be the predator and the protector at the same time. Like, it doesn't, that argument doesn't quite work because men are the ones that men are protecting us from. And so that argument sort of falls apart at that moment. Like, y'all built the society for us. Yeah, but you also would take away rights and give them to us. Like I'm just saying, like, you can't abuse us and be like, but we protecting y'all. It's so I just don't like that argument to come up, because if in fact we did not need to be protected, y'all wouldn't have to feel the need to protect us. It's men who are doing the things.
But
So I don't get why
Can I
you all
respond to
keep
that?
saying
Sounds
that.
like men self-correcting. They see a problem, they
No,
take
they're
care of
not
it.
self-correcting. If they were self-correcting, then we wouldn't have all of these serial rapists out here. Like, I'm just like,
what?
no, they're not
How you gonna
self-correcting
blame all
anyway.
So, so yeah,
I
so
don't know what to
basically,
tell you. Like, am
so
I
basically,
okay? I'm probably not making sense. It's okay. Don't worry about it. You good. You good.
no, I just want to ask you. So when you look at men, you look at men as one monolith, completely. So, so if a woman has a problem with a man, right, based on your logic, then all men, we should look at all women as just one monolith. That all women are the same, right? Women are these. What men are saying a lot of times is women are manipulators. They use them for their resources. Women do this, women do that. Now we know some women do certain things and some women don't. So to say that men are the ones violating and abusing and men are the ones that are protecting, yes, men have a, for instance, when men meet each other in the street, there's a certain decorum you got to have when you're dealing with other men because yeah, men have a propensity for violence. I just opened up and said that that's the thing that God has given man, physical strength to enforce things. Women's superpower is manipulation. Women are very manipulative to get the resources that they need to. This is something that's evolutionary. This is something that's just built into the biology. So is it safe to say that all women are manipulative and all women are the same way? Yes, men protect women from other men. And you know what? I grew up in a single mother household, right? And my grandma, I grew up under a matriarchy and a good one at that. My grandma and my mom always taught me don't let women use you. I'm going to show you how to cook and clean for yourself so another woman won't be able to manipulate you and control you because she can do these things for you. Now, this is coming from women who taught me this at an early age. So are they wrong for what they're saying about women? This is what I'm saying. When we start to finger point and put all men in a box, all you're essentially doing is saying that we're all the same. And when you do that, you're not really making a logical argument because clearly, if you get into a conflict with a man, there is a police system that you can call to enact some type of justice and some type of control system. Because you know what, this has developed over eons and centuries of human civilization. If you remove the civilizational structure that men built, you have roving tribes and gangs that would just run and raid a village. And those very same men who get married understand that I have to put my life on the line to protect my woman, to protect my sisters, to protect my mother, to protect my children. So men are actually putting themselves on the line, their life on the line to protect women. You can't, that can't be swept under the rug as if you're the protectors and you're the abusers. No, that doesn't make any logical sense.
It makes plenty of logical sense. The question is, Bo, do you think that all men are the same? No, I do not. And that is not what I was getting at. What I'm saying is this is an imperfect society that men have built. All I'm saying is that men are always these protectors. Where are those men that are the perpetrators? Who, because you all tout men to be protectors, but you have to acknowledge the other side of it. I'm saying all men are not the same. That's what I am actually saying, is that you have both of them. So the men that are trying to protect, there are also men on the other side that are trying to harm, that are trying to take our rights away, that are trying to make us property again, that are trying to subjugate us. You have to admit that. I am actually saying that all men are not the same. So it's not like I am not a person that looks at a man and is like, he'll probably abuse me. Like, I'm not, that's not my first thought. It is an unconscious thought because that's how women have to move. But I want you to understand that when you all bring that up about men built the society so women can flourish, that is not true. Men built the society so men can flourish, not women. And women fought for rights so that women can flourish. So, women fought to just be equal in our rights, just in our rights in society. Not necessarily because y'all will swear I think that men and women are equal. I'm talking about equal rights. Women fought to have that. Human rights is a human thing. We should have rights because we are human. But men said no. So we had to fight for that. You're not giving us anything just for the sake, because you want us to be these great women. No. And you have to admit that there were laws that kept us from doing so. But those laws had to be enacted first. Because if all of us were equal, if all of us had equal rights, those human rights would never have been taken away from women. We would have been able to vote. We would have been able to do all of these things if men did not take it away. They wouldn't have had to give it back to us if they never took it away. So I'm like, I don't understand if you're not understanding.
I'll give you some context, right? So it's all about how much you understand about humans, human civilization and society and how it developed. Let's go in the past a little bit, right? There's a tribe called the Kikuyu people. There's a time in history where matriarchy was very prevalent. And you can go to a lot of different ancient cultures, like there's the Kikuyu people from Kenya. You just use them as an example. They speak of a time where in their mythology, women ran the society, right? And the men said they rose up and removed the matriarchy because it was so oppressive to them that they removed them from power and vowed never to return to that point, that form of government again. You can find a lot of this throughout history where matriarchy was installed and it was very oppressive, and the men removed the women from power, right? There are those instances. What do you say about that? Because when you look at what men have designed, when you say men took these rights away and gave it away and women fought for it, let's be clear. What war did women fight in and shed blood to get rights? They didn't. Men decided that, okay, our previous generation, we didn't like what we saw them doing to our mothers and things like that. So we're going to give them the rights that they are asking for. We're going to do that because we don't agree with what may have happened in the past. And then you also got to consider, when you talk about this patriarchy, you got to also consider that the Black woman in America was never under the control of the Black man. She was never in a position where she had to listen to the Black man. The Black woman could always go to the dominant white society to get justice against the Black man for something that she felt he did or did not do. The Black man has never had the power to systemically oppress Black women in this country. When you talk about feminism and what the rights women fought for, that was white women fighting for the right to be able to work in the marketplace and earn their own money and different things like that. Black women already had that right. In fact, they passed laws to make it so that Black women couldn't be stay-at-home moms, that they had to get out there and work. My grandmother from the Deep South, from Charleston, South Carolina, she worked for $3 a week working in white people's homes. Okay, she never had the ability to be this stay-at-home mom that had to go and fight for some rights. That was white women who actually had to fight for that. Black women never had the ability, privilege, or capacity to be a stay-at-home mom. And the Black man never had the capacity to systemically oppress her. So again, when you're talking about men as this monolith, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up, because the same things you're saying that men didn't do is factually false, because men have fought for and have convinced other men that, no, we're going to give women this right. The right that you have today is a rights that men fought to give you and decided to give you. That's just the facts, or else you wouldn't have them.
But That's the thing. Like, you don't see anything wrong with what you just said. We decided to give it to you. Why does there have to be a decision to give us something that should already be? But also, I want to bring up, you broke it down to black men and black women. If we want to keep it in a community, you're absolutely right. But you said society. You didn't say the black community. So I had to speak on the general society. That's what I was speaking on. If you want to bring it to the black community, you're absolutely 100% correct. And I won't fight you on that.
Even
But
if we
that was
go,
not the point that you brought up. You said men built this society for women to flourish. You did not say anything about black men.
okay, so here's the thing, right? When the understanding that men have among each other, generally speaking, is that we're going to work, we're going to develop things so that we can take care of our families. That's the general understanding of most men, that what we do is to provide for the women and the children and to make sure that our women and children, my wife, my children, my family, that every man, generally speaking, feels a responsibility to protect and provide for his family. What you're speaking about is this large society where there has to be some kind of understanding of cultural familial structure and understanding this, because for random men to be responsible for protecting random women, that's just never the case in any society. The fact that men feel the need and have an innate capacity in them to say, I want to provide for my family and my children, including my wife and my mother and my sisters, etc. That means that they're responsible. Women say they want providers, right? Right. So when a man goes to build a society so that he can earn something, so that he can take care of his family, that's what I'm talking about. When men built the society so that women could flourish, because that is the system that a man developed to take care of his family. Now, what we have here is women have the capacity to go earn their own money. They can go work their own jobs. They can do whatever it is that they feel they need to do for themselves, right? And that itself, in and of itself, was a societal decision, because men decided that, okay, although I'm responsible for protecting and providing for my family, my wife wants the capacity to go out and earn her money too, or the women in my life want to go and be the best of themselves. That was a decision that the society generally, through the voting process, is what I'm talking about. Through the voting process, decided that women should have that capacity to do it. So what I find ironic is that although that right was given, women are still looking for providers. Why look for a provider or men to be able to provide and protect? Why do women want those qualities in men that they marry or that they have relationships with if men were so evil? Why do they want these provisions from men?
So
Because if
I will answer that, but let me get some clarity from you first.
Mhm.
So